do our bow warm up.
Okay.
Okay, so we'd like to see. Okay, the pinky's definitely now curved. Thumbs tends to straighten up a bit. Let that thumb curve as well. Pretty much just a very round shape for all the fingers. So
Yeah.
go ahead and do slur. Or not slur. That's not to the scales. 6. And now the 4. Two. And now the big one. Okay, pretty good. Definitely got the elbow motion there, right? I'd say work on when you're holding the violin that kind of stays more so going out on your shoulder here. So when you bow, the bow kind of ends up going between your knees here. Like, and so long as you like kind of pretend that there's a wall coming up from your knees and you just aim your hand in between that wall or those walls. Doesn't matter which string you're on. It'll fit within that wall, and that's going to help you with getting this nice straight bow motion. I'm kind of seeing where we're twisted a little and the bow is going to the side of the knee. So try to keep the bow kind of within between the knees there.
Okay.
Why don't you do another big one and just try to keep that bow between the knees. Alright, pretty good. Yeah, so just keep bowing out to between knees. Alright, let's see. So we're just about to start worksheet 7. Let's see. Before we start that, do we have the okay. Could you do Mary Had a Little Lamb real quick?
Let's see if I remember.
Okay, very good. And since we're already on the worksheet 7 here, where we're going to start using the bow, why don't we give it a try with the bow now?
Okay. I kind of ran through that a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think you had said to kind of go through that on my own a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'm just a little nervous.
It's okay. It's just a lamb.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, pretty good. You kind of got onto this where you didn't. What you did at the beginning, where you did 2 notes in one bow. That's what we call slurring, and but you eventually stopped doing that and you went to the separate bows. So that's definitely good. We will get to slurring. It does have its place, just not right now.
Okay.
So yeah, don't slur and use bow now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. just in time for Christmas. Alright, let's see now. Alright, so here we kind of started with our dotted rhythms.
Mm-hmm.
Right now let's do this with pizzicato. So go ahead and put the bow down.
Okay.
Now let's just review this one real quick.
Wait, no.
Yeah, the
That's
highest
an E.
note is the E.
Yeah. Started going back into what was on the back page.
Mm-hmm. Alright, very good. Seems like we got a little bit of waiter hand there, so just even though your palm's not touching the back of the neck, we still don't want the hand bending in towards the neck. So
Okay.
just no waiter hand. That is the weirdest N I ever drew. Alright. But we definitely understand how to read those dotted rhythms. Let's see. Yes. Okay. The plan was for each of these eighth notes to kind of match up with the dotted chord note before it. So like that should be an E, this one be a C sharp. But big thing important is that you got the rhythms right. So good job there. Can you play your creativity exercise for me?
Yeah.
Alright, very good. Okay, so we're now done with worksheet 6. Time for worksheet 7, which means we gotta pull the bow out again.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this go? Using the bow on this.
I think it went all right.
Okay, let's go ahead and just start with the first exercise there. Alright, and now for the next one. Yeah, so when crossing strings, just kind of just be careful with how far you lift this hand to change the string, because obviously we just went a little too far there. Lifting strings. Lift hand just enough to balance on one string. Okay?
Okay.
Down there. Okay. But overall, doing very well with this one. Let's see. Okay. Yep, that's all correct. And let's hear the creativity exercise. Looks like I need to go in and remove those rests.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to just ignore those. Or
Yeah, because technically those are filling up the whole measure and not
yeah,
leaving
I looked
you
that
anything.
up and I was like, oh wait, that doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Whoop. That's a D.
Yep.
Keep trying to play a C there for some reason.
Okay. Did we forget the dot on this note here? Because you played it as
Oh, yeah.
for the whole measure there, so Okay, but no worries. You're definitely playing everything correctly what you wrote there. Which that's the main goal of these is not really just to teach you how to write a song, but to for you to prove you know what you know what you're talking about. So,
Okay.
and you're definitely doing a really great job with it. So, most of the time I have students, mainly the younger ones, who they get the notes, then they get the wrong rhythms and things like that. But you're really nailing both very well.
Thank you.
Okay, do we by chance have worksheet 8?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I should print it out. Yeah.
Okay, good. Alright, so kind of like how playing with your first finger on the E string was just the same as playing with your first finger on the A string, this worksheet talks about the second finger, and it's just the same as the A string. Only difference is the notes we're playing. This last worksheet introduced you to F sharp. Now we got G natural, G sharp.
Okay.
Again, a low second finger, or touching the first finger when you're playing G natural without the sharp, and then when you need to be sharp, you just fret it a little higher.
Okay.
And practically all of these exercises are the same as that worksheet, including Mary Had a Little Lamb again. So let's just go ahead and let's go through this one. Oh, one other thing it's also introducing. You notice that these dots are on top now.
Yeah.
So the previous dots, they made the note longer by half as much. What these dots do is they make the note sound shorter, but here's the thing. While these notes got longer, so they're no longer 1 beat, they are now 1.5 beats. These are shorter, but we still wait a full beat. So there's going to be some empty space in between each of these notes. So instead of, it's now going to be.
Okay.
So we call this staccato. And how to know the difference? The staccato dots are on top of the note. If the stem's going up, though, the dot will be below the note. Whereas these notes that make the note longer are to the side of the note.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and have you just go through this exercise, and this will definitely be with a bow. Okay, still different directions though.
Okay. I did not see the double.
Hmm?
I did not
Oh, the
see
repeat?
dots. Yeah.
Okay. Also, don't forget, without the dot, that second finger needs to be touching the first finger. And it sounded like
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't
Okay.
doing that. So.
Sorry.
No worries.
Ah, I'm getting all sorts of. No.
Yeah, just make sure that they stay touching there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Right here we have this exercise and staccato quarter note, but no staccato half note. Let's go ahead and play through that one.
Okay.
And there would be a repeat you could do in your own practice time.
Okay.
Definitely try not to wait too long between them. Just wait the full 2 beats, don't stop, and move to the next note. Okay? Alright, so pretty good job with this one. It does seem like while we're mainly focusing on the 2 fingers, try not to tuck the 3rd and 4th away.
Okay.
Keep those above the string. Especially picky about the 4th finger because you have yet to use it, but there's definitely a purpose for using it, and you can almost get away with tucking it away there, but then there's still the times where you will need it, and then you want to have that 4th finger trained and ready to go. this will just be a creativity exercise. In the back of that, do you by chance have the Suzuki book?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Hope I got the right one and I got it off of.
That is the exact same one that we need.
I ended up
Okay.
getting it off of Amazon because I didn't have time to go down to a music store.
Oh yeah. Now, on my website, I have all these links to different online stores you can buy these from. Amazon's definitely one of them.
Okay.
So, all right. So we're gonna start. The first song is actually here in the middle of the book.
Okay.
And what we got here is Twinkle Little Star. Now, they call it the variations though, because they're showing you different ways to play Twinkle Little Star. Pretty much it's the same notes in each of them. There's just different rhythms for each one. But what I want you to focus on is just this one back here. This is just simply the Twinkle Little Star theme, the way you've heard it growing up your whole life.
Okay.
So, and this, by the time you got to worksheet 7, you now know all the notes needed to play this one, because with an A and F sharp. Let's go ahead and let's try. Now, one of the things that's most students struggle when they get to this one is going from the open E to the 3rd finger playing that D. It's just coming from this string and then getting those fingers down in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
So some tips, try to not let your fingers go up too high. So it's just simply getting those fingers over onto the string. And have I mentioned pivoting with the elbow when you're string crossing?
No.
So pretty much you're on your A string. Then when you go to your E string, you'll bring your elbow over. So that way your fingers just simply focus up and down, and your elbow changing, that does the job of moving the fingers to a different string. And once you are on your D and G string, you'll do the same thing. Just move with your elbow. By the time you're on your D string, you're going to be bringing your elbow over as far as it can comfortably reach. Okay. Let's go ahead and think you can go ahead and sight read the whole song? I don't expect it to be perfect, so.
Okay.
You're just like, oh, well, if you don't want perfection. Mm-hmm.
C sharp.
Oh, hold on. That's not the first
No.
note's not C sharp.
No. That's D.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, so pretty much we'll just be warming up with this for a while, because you see you're going to use this to play all these different variations, and we'll talk about what those mean a little later.
Okay.
But one other thing to mention, you notice we have all the sharps gathered back here. This is what we call a key signature, and our sharps from left to right are these notes. So this is F sharp, it's on the line for F. C sharp, it's on that space for C, and then that's on the above the line for G. So pretty much what this means, all those notes that those are on throughout this whole song will be sharp.
Okay.
That way we don't have to be putting those sharp symbols within each measure. There will be some times where you'll have a key signature, and then they'll throw a different sharp in the middle for a different note, like sometimes the case may be D sharp, which you haven't learned how to play yet.
Mm-hmm.
But so whenever you start a song, it's always good to look back here at the beginning to see what sharps you have, because as you go through this book, and you get onto your other strings. Let's see. Well, up till this page, we're still 3 sharps, but then hold on. then right here we get to only 2 sharps.
Okay.
So we lose our G sharp, and that now becomes G natural. And then on this next page, or the songs throughout the rest of the book, it's only 1 sharp, the F sharp.
Are there like certain notes that are almost always sharps?
So that they can be natural still.
Okay.
I'd say for string players, we are more comfortable playing in key signatures that are sharp. There are flats still, but pretty much don't they can change.
Okay, yeah.
But I would say more what you probably would see more often is the F sharp. But there's also a key signature where there's no sharps at all.
Okay.
C, that's the key of C major. Every note is natural in that key. So if you don't see any sharps or flats at the beginning, that means everything's natural.
Okay.
Especially for musicians, we tend to like to stay with the keys where it only has a couple sharps or a couple flats when you learn about those ones. 4 sharps or 4 flats is probably just like pushing our comfort zone, and then there's the keys that have so many. Usually those ones aren't used so much for instrumental, they're used more so for voice, and it's just sometimes those keys work very well for voice and make them sound very beautiful. For us, it's just a pain to read. One thing though, while those keys with all the extra sharps and all the extra flats, they look complicated, they really, once you put the practice in, it's not hard to play in them. It's hard to first read them, and especially like now when I have something that's has say 6 flats in it, I still have to put some work in to read it, but it still is not more. It's not harder to play in. It's just harder to read in. So. Okay. Let's see. Why don't we go through this again? Good. Okay, and I would say you could also try this without the staccatos sometimes. Just keeping it all together. Da, 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 da. And since we have a Christmas break coming up, why don't we go ahead and throw this song in as well? This is just 1 less note than what you have to play over here. You only go to between the A and the E this time. Why don't we try a sight reading of the first line there? You know what I mean when I say sight reading?
Yeah, just kind of trying to play and read at the...
Yeah, play without practice, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty good. That's probably gonna have to be the end of our lesson time right now, but the rest of the song really isn't more complicated than that. I would also say during the break, print out worksheet 9 and start working with that. That's gonna teach you to play with your 3rd finger on the on the E string, and that note actually is A. And something else that's gonna teach you is how to play an A major scale, which using all the sharp notes you've learned up to this point, you're just gonna play from your lowest note up to the top note. You ever seen Sound of Music?
Yeah.
So, do, re, mi, fa, sol la ti do.
Okay.
That's what they're singing. They're singing a scale.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Of course, A would actually be la, but as far as the scale they were singing, that's what they're doing.
Okay.
So. Okay. Good job.